This is what happens when I do a collab with someone. Then again, this was my second time doing it with somebody else. The first collab was with Mad Plushie and that was great, but with Sean, I'll explain down the road. So yeah, Ryan Rhino Mills did a commentary on my collab video and it was so terrible that it was great. The commentary was great. Now I bet you guys are wondering why I'm responding to him if I basically agree with everything he said here. Well, because I want to show you guys how I effed up this easy target. I explained in the comment section of Ryan's commentary on me, but who actually want to read my comments if I could simply make a video about it? Before we get into the commentary itself, I would like to address that I am not trying to attack Ryan. This is just me justifying the commentary. Another thing I would like to bring up is a comment from Nihilistic Snake. Okay, dude. In what way was I being a condescending dick? If you're talking about my behavior towards Sean, I can tell you right now. It was nowhere near that. I was on a regular level with Sean and I never showed my hate towards him. There's the proof. It's in Ryan's video. Now, if you're talking about the media clips and all that crazy signs, you know that was Ryan, right? Ryan made the commentary 10 times better by insulting Sean, and to be honest, it was kind of funny and you gotta admit it. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the commentary. Editing is gonna be painful tonight. And by the way, Ryan, you want me to explain more? Bring it on.
Thank you, Supersonic Ward 15. After looking at the comments on my video of Awesomeness 45 and the commentary by Leafy Green Productions, I was very desperate to find some help.
Is this a real person? Because for some reason, I'm not really convinced that this is a real person. And to put that into perspective, that's coming from someone that's currently doing a co-op with what's basically a cartoon character.
Got a blast!
Gendum, sit down and drink your juice.
Okay, mother.
I am not your mother.
I was aware of Sean's acting. It also doesn't help the fact that he did his lines in one go as soon as we got done with the script. My acting is decent, but Sean is not really giving me that option to prove that I'm a decent actor. In my last collab video, Mad Plushie and I basically played off each other and it was really good. Nobody complained when we did it, so why here? Well, just like I stated before, me and Sean's chemistry was way off. It was like we was just picking freaking random spots and not being in the same spot. I hope that made sense. Let me tell you guys a funny story. During Sean's commentary on Flames of Insanity, he stated himself that he can't do skits with a monotone voice. That's right, he basically took a jab at himself, and with this commentary with me and Sean, it shows some contradictions. Now I bet you're wondering why Sean and I did a skit. Well, that's simple. He inserted it in the script and I didn't stop him! You guys think I didn't even know? Guys, I know about Sean and his acting already, and I guess he wanted to do a skit with me because he know I'm very energetic. Let's just go to the next point.
Wow, you just didn't try at all, did you?
Actually, I found it quite...
Shut up. Anyways, if I could explain the problems with this intro, the background is static the entire time, even though there were several moments that the foreground objects are moving. The rest of the intro is just static bullcrap that moves slower than Sean's avatar in the intro sketch, and overall, it looks like this intro took you maybe 2 minutes to edit, give or take a few seconds. It looks like garbage is what I'm trying to say.
I can explain that. The fact that I already did a commentary on Halo Fan because he did a commentary on me because I did a commentary on Sean, I really just dropped every sense of editing a cool intro card. Now, maybe I should have skipped the intro card altogether, or make it shorter, or make it at least decent. I'm actually ashamed of myself here because usually people actually like my intro cards. But to see this train wreck of an intro really just makes me think about my life. Frick! And just for the record, my intro cards are at least 26 seconds. Yeah, that's not saying much. Hey Sean, remember when you wanted to get this video off your chest, right? Well, you made a good point, but yeah, Awesomeness 45. You should have let him finish before you interject.
Okay, if Sean's overall problem is that he goes a little too much into detail with his wording, Supersonic Ward's problem is basically the opposite of Sean, in which he doesn't give enough detail in his wording. Because even though I've listened to this statement multiple times, I have no idea what this African-American individual is trying to convey to me.
If you want, I could get my Doc Davers to try and analyze his statement.
They can do that?
Of course they can. I've trained them myself.
Well, I mean, it's worth a shot, I guess.
None.
What? Already?
Do not underestimate the power of my Doc Davers.
Okay. Doesn't really matter. Did they find anything?
Well, from what my Davers could gather, they narrowed it down to 2 possibilities. Possibility number 1 is that Supersonic Ward is referring to Sean's original commentary on Halo Fan, where Sean brought up how Halo Fan didn't let him finish his statement.
I mean, if that's the case, this could have been conveyed a lot better. Like, a whole lot better. Like, maybe pointing to the point that you're even referring to better.
Now, the second possibility is what they consider the more possible one. That his point was lost in wording, and what he meant was that Sean in his commentary on himself explains that he's commentating on himself for the reason of getting it off his chest.
That makes even less sense, though. Because if I could play devil's advocate for a second, just because there's a reason he made a pointless video, or at the very least, as Halo Fan claims, that doesn't make the video he made any less pointless. I mean, Halo Fan's point is completely idiotic, as self-commentaries aren't automatically bad, and specific commentaries that would come out over half a year later would prove this to be true, but you're doing an awful job trying to argue this.
Even if you wanted to argue that you couldn't use Mommy's midlife crisis to prove that self-commentaries can be done right due to it coming out after Halo Fan's video, you could still argue his points with the simple fact that self-commentaries could be used more to simply just at your past self more than providing criticism. Or it could just simply be a lesson to little baby boys on things that they should try to avoid doing if they don't want to make the same mistakes.
And yes, you could counter that with the fact that Sean doesn't really try to do either of these things, really, but the problem here is that Halo Fan doesn't even try to argue that. There. Now do you see how to actually make a point, guys?
It was the first one. Now, let me actually tell you why I didn't convey that a lot better, despite me not putting it down in the comments section, because I forgot editing the comments as we speak. The reason being that I covered this before on both Sean S. and Halo Fan individually, and I didn't want to do the exact same thing. That was actually laziness on my part. And by the way, Ryan, I actually argued this point a lot better in my Sean S. commentary. Also, did you know that self-commentaries are bad? Sure, you can have a reason, but you need to say more than that to do a commentary on yourself. If you could do a great job on commentating on yourself, then I can accept that. But if it's dumb, then what's the point?
And also, you're getting on me for doing a commentary on myself, and yet you did the exact same thing back then. That's exactly what Nightmare Kagamine called you out on.
And also, I know you think this commentary sucked, but doing a commentary on yourself like that is just not necessary to help you with your points. Even I shamelessly regret doing that years ago.
Guess not. Okay, first of all, just because he once did something he got onto you for, that doesn't instantly make him a hypocrite. I mean, sure, if he still stands by it, it's fair game, but if he did that in a separate video and he is now saying the opposite of that, wouldn't that somewhat imply that he no longer agrees with those actions? Oh, but Ryan, how would you know any of these things? Well, I mean, I don't know 100%, but I think it's safe to say he dropped his position on it after a full year. Yeah, that's right. Don't think I didn't notice that you're using an outdated as all frick example to back this point up. Yeah, newsflash, I don't think it's safe to assume that he no longer agrees with his previous stance on self-commentaries if the last time he even did one was over a year before he called you out for doing one.
Also, while we're on the topic, might I ask what this nightmare specimen has to do with any of this? All you're saying by bringing her up is that she's someone that agrees with your point. But showing a clip of her video doesn't prove your point to be any more valid, especially since my same tangent from before related to self-commentaries can also be applied to her clip and render her point of credibility to be flimsy at best.
Yeah, everybody got Sean on that. The fact that I wasn't really thinking of the years, it really hurt me as a commentator. And once again, I made this argument before in my The Foxton commentary. It's TVY, and you're not wrong, but the way you worded it, implying that they never showed any sorts of violence. Season 1 opener, they showed a little bit of violence, but it was never too heavy on that. Season 2 finale, the main 6 used physical elements to back off the changelings. And now Season 4 finale. When was this video made again? June 12, 2015. Foxton. Twilight's Kingdom was out in May 10th, 2014, and it showed a lot of violence. Now what's video you're commentating on? A 3-year-old video that is very irrelevant to the situation because Twilight Kingdom never came out at that time. Since your video is so late, I bet he experienced the episode before you even touched this old video. Why does co-ops make you even worse if you got the wrong partner? I'm looking at you, Sean. Then again, it was my fault for not keeping my eyes on you.
I'm sorry, but I cannot hear you what you were saying at that part right there. It would help if you speak louder. Because I cannot even hear what you're trying to say.
From your perspective, you can't hear him clearly, but to others, they can hear him just fine. So basically, this is a nitpick.
Okay, I'm not entirely saying you're wrong, but the way you argued it came off like you're saying that someone being able to hear him or not is a subjective opinion, which it really isn't. I mean, if it was a situation where there were certain people that can't hear him, in whatever weird way that could be pulled off, wouldn't that by itself be a flaw with his video since his music is audibly handicapping the video for a certain amount of his audience? You see, this is kind of the problem when you can't be bothered enough to not be a highly malfunctioning sentence blender.
I was arguing with subjectivity. There's nothing else I can say here. Furthermore, there was no reason for you to jump in and say that. It kinda stopped the video altogether.
Dude, technically every interjection, unless it's an audio doc, stops the video altogether. Every single one. What are you saying?
Even if we argue that your point is still valid despite your awful wordings, let's go at it from this angle. So for the sake of argument, let's assume that this was placed in an area of the video where Sean actually was unable to be heard because of his loud, rambunctious devil music. In that case, it would not be pointless because his point by itself is criticizing the presentation. Because if the presenter cannot be heard, then how is one able to hear the points being presented? The answer is, they can't! Eat a flaccid wiener, you cunt!
Okay, it was stupid of me to try and point that out. Once again, I made the exact same argument when I was commentating on Sean. Oh my god!
I'm sorry, but I cannot hear you what you were saying at that part right there. It would help if you speak louder, because I cannot even hear what you were trying to say.
Okay, don't take this as an offense, Halo fan, but maybe if you would have turned up your volume, maybe you could have heard me much clearer.
What Halo was trying to say is speak up a little louder so that the audience can hear you clearly. Sure, he could have worded it better, but you want to know something, Sean? Even at the highest capacity, your voice can still be considered low. What is wrong with me today? You see that, Sean? That's how you do it.
Thank you, Supersonic Ward 15. I really appreciate that.
Okay, guys, real talk. Sean's trying, okay? He's trying, and we should not make fun of him, but I will anyways. I mean, seriously, did you two go to school specifically for writing completely inhuman dialogue exchanges? Because, oh my goodness, this is some of the most stilted writing I've seen in quite a while, and I've covered commentaries for crying out loud.
Dang it, Sean. The acting wouldn't feel unnatural if Sean put some energy in his vocal cords. Hey, Sean, I know what the problem is now. Even though I knew this after you gave me the audio. You basically rushed your lines and you gave it to me on the same day. How long were you recording your lines? 30 minutes or less? You know you could take your time with this. It's not a race. I know you got school and all, but dude, that commentary wasn't going anywhere. Just take your time. Another thing I realized is that you record with a phone and you use a video file instead of an audio file, which can also indicate the lack of acting. Let me explain. I'm going to doubt that you have a pausing feature while recording, which can still indicate the lack of acting. Or you really don't do retakes. I know you have a computer, man. You showed me that you do. You can download an audio program. I don't know what type of computer you do have, but if you have a laptop or whatever, you can download Audacity for free. Now, if you have a straight up desktop that has no built-in microphone or have any independent mics at all, you're going to have to resort to using your phone. I don't use my phone for any audio support, but I know you should be able to have something other than using a video file. I guess that's all I can say, Sean. Hey, Awesomeness45, guess what? Can you show any proof that you brought up some new points? If you're saying that you nitpick a lot, then no. It doesn't count as a legitimate point.
Okay, this is gonna kind of sound odd because by all technicalities, your point is correct. But just because you're correct, that doesn't entirely mean you're right. What do I mean by this? While it is true that Halo fan's point is flawed because he has no examples to back up how he brought new and legitimate points against his old commentary, that's only one section, and arguably the most irrelevant section, to the grand scheme of his entire argument, as all you'd be proving is that his example is shaky at best. And again, this is valid, but this argument seems more like a side note to an actual argument of his main point, don't you think? I mean, take this as you will. This could easily just be a me thing, but this is a huge problem I have with a lot of lower grade commentators, not just Sonic Ward. They make arguments that, while yes are technically valid, so I can't really debate them, ultimately are super bare bones and leave a lot to be desired. For example, you didn't even begin to mention how up to this point, Halo fan has done basically next to nothing to actually proving that Sean's points are not new or legitimate.
Yes, I could have explored more into the argument itself, but going back to my last point, I was freaking lazy. That's no excuse, I know.
Anyways, we are going to skip most of the rest of his video because he doesn't say anything for 2 minutes.
Hey, you wanna know what's funny about this statement?
Baked beans?
The funny thing about this statement is that this is the last time Sean shows up for the rest of the commentary.
I beg your curly fries?
Yep, up until the final thoughts, we do not hear Sean make another point, like, at all. So, you had this entire 3.5 minute bore fest of a plot just for Sean to make what amounts to 1.5 points. Brilliant.
Dude, you don't know how many times I was trying to get Sean into saying something else, but he didn't know what to say, so I bet you're saying,
why do a co-op if you took every single point?
well, to answer that, I will have to get back to you after I die. Can't wait to see it. And also, this is Supersonic War 15 saying, keep running.
Seriously? That's your tagline? Keep running? Like, I love the pause too. Like, he was really struggling as hard as he can to think of a tagline that sounded catchy enough.
That was intentional, by the way. My catchphrase was faster than that, and if you want to see the full story, well, it's down in the comment section of Ryan's video on me. Pretty much you'll learn everything in that comment. I really don't know what to say here, because I pretty much turned myself into a punching bag at this point. All in all, Ryan's commentary on me was actually great. Maybe having Sean as a co-op partner wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I'm not trying to talk bad about Sean. Then again, it was my fault for not looking over any type of problems. I should have went through the arguments even further instead of taking the lazy way out. Should have realized the points I made in my previous commentaries and backed them up in my co-op with Sean. Stop being so shy when it comes to teamwork. Yes, I said it! I was shy! One of my recent videos explains it, and it's sadly true. Even if it feels like I'm not that type of person, well, you're frankly wrong. Nihilistic Snake, this is why I questioned you before about the whole condescending dick, because I still don't see it. You need to be more specific, otherwise I won't see what you mean. This is Supersonic War 15 saying, F you guys!
Made for little girls.
Sorry about that. Well, see you guys on my next commentary. Hopefully it'll be more, organized. But seriously though, Ryan, I want you to check out my commentaries on Sean S. and Awesomeness 45, and I want to see what your thoughts are.